Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Let's Pivot podcast. Today we're joined with Yajju. She is the owner of Essential Speech and ABBA Therapy. We're discussing her business journey and how things have been going for her. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Chuck. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for taking the time to come on to the podcast. So, yeah, let's jump right into it. Why did you decide to take on the risk, the pressure, all the things that come with being a business owner? What is it that made you decide to do that?
We've always wanted to be business owners. We always wanted something that we could say was ours, our baby. It's always what you say. And we wanted to always do something for the children because I have twins and then we're really good with children. And that's something where we wanted to do a business that was focused on that. So, yeah, it was always a calling. I don't think working the 9 to 5s was me. So,
Okay. And how have the first couple of years been for you? Typically, I think they say the first 1 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years is kind of the trial by fire. You have to figure everything out and put it all together. So, what's that process been like for you?
it's been interesting, I would say. uh, it's a trip. We start off with a different set of expectations, but then you go for this whole roller coaster ride that is like throws you in the deeper end, and you have to like swim up to and try to breathe. And it's been adventurous journey, I would say, having in terms of the field just by itself. Yes, that's been a big journey. Yeah, it's very different from, I don't know. I guess each business comes with its own challenges, and this was a total different level.
Right, right. So you help kids with special needs. How many kids can you help right now?
So we can help up to 14 to 15 kids. We specialize in ABA therapy for children from 18 months to 6 to 7 years old. The kids who are diagnosed with autism. So we give them behavior therapy and as well as speech therapy. The treatment plan specific for the child. I will have a technician dedicated to that child who will follow the instructions of the treatment plan and will keep meeting the goals that the child need to work on. There's a lot of skills that each child needs to develop. Each person's diagnosis is different. Each person's treatment plan is different. Each person's conditions are different. So each child gets a tailor-made treatment plan, and then each technician is giving one-on-one therapy to the child while the BCBA overlooks the whole thing, and while they keep modifying the treatment plan as they go, as the child reaches one goal and then has to work towards another goal. So we make them independent, as in they can eat by themselves, they can go to the bathroom by themselves, they're potty trained, their social skills, they're able to speak, they're able to read and write depending on their age. So if there are older kids like 4 or 5, we kind of start them off on the academic side also, like where they are. I mean, it's not like any syllabus or something, but then that will help them make to read small words based on their capacity, numbers, colors. So mainly it's first for them to become independent so that when they go to a school, a public school or a regular school or a private school, whichever they go to, they are able to sit and learn, understand, communicate with the teacher and learn from the teacher and listen to what's being told and follow instructions. We are making them independent to be able to do all these things by themselves without any help.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I mean, there's obviously only so much capacity, right? Without you having to add, the equivalent to the doctor, the individual therapist, right? So that's one part of being able to help more people, but the capacity you have, are you maxed out on?
We are
Do you have as many kids as you can handle? Are there more kids that need treatment, but they just can't get it because there's not enough capacity in the system?
Right, because there is a space constraint as well as the main BCBA constraint. Like every child comes with a treatment plan for so many hours that of treatment required per hour, and she needs to give a percentage of supervision for that person. There's only so many hours in a week that she can cover to
Right.
overlook all the children. So that's when another person comes in or an assistant BCBA comes in. So even now we're at 12 kids, but then when we're adding the 13, 14, 15 kids, I do have another.
Okay.
Need the more BCBAs because one person can only supervise so many kids in a week.
Right. Especially a special needs child. They have
Right.
they need extra attention.
Right.
Now, is it hard to find people that are trained and certified to do that kind of work?
Yes, the technicians are fine because they are more at a place where they have to train from the BCBA. They come with some basic knowledge or some experience depending on how new to the field they are. But yes, getting a good BCBA is the whole crux of the business
Mm,
because he or she is the one who determines the program. He or she is the one who sets the tone for the clinic, who who makes success stories. It's all dependent on that person because they are the clinical core. They are the ones who are making sure the child is being successful.
right.
So in a year, we've already graduated 3 kids, which is a big thing under a year. So 3 kids are able to go to school and, not needing behavior therapy services anymore is a good feat. So I would say the BCBA is the most important, like the brain, the heart, the spine of the clinic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it just, I don't know, I'm curious. Can you use or do you use like interns, people in school going, trying to be trained for this type of thing? Can you
Yes.
access them? Do you utilize those?
They usually reach out to us and we kind of put them in the lead technician position where they're assisting the BCBA. They're called the BCBA interns. So they're assisting with BCBA with the treatment plans, or, they're helping them with many things that the BCBA has to do, but, assisting them with maybe talking with the parent, translating the treatment plan to the parent, and all those things where the BCBA's time is being consumed while learning uh, what it is to be a BCBA, because these people are already in their masters and are
Uh-huh.
about to sit for their BCBA exam. So they also need like about 2,000 hours of not the direct therapy but the indirect services that go behind the therapy for them to qualify for that exam. So BCBA interns are the ones who are doing their masters or finish their masters and are ready to sit for their board exam,
Okay.
certification exam.
Okay. And now with all of these different people, how do you keep everybody on the same page, right? Everybody operating off of the same playbook.
Right, that's where the BCBA plays an important role because if I have one BCBA, everybody's just following her rules. When you have more than one BCBA, that's when the confusion starts, or maybe they have to be both the BCBAs have to be super aligned to make sure the operations runs very smooth because you don't want to get two different instructions from two different people for the same kid. So then maybe the caseloads would be different, and then this BCBA will be only treating these children and taking care or supervising only this set of children and will not interfere with the other set of children, or only when help is needed or something, for a suggestion. But it's important that they're on the same page, and both my current BCBA and the part-time BCBA have been working together for a while, so they know each other's style very well, so they're not disturbing each other's program.
Okay. And so you're reaching out to other organizations, you're talking to parents, you're scheduling everything for the different is that still being done manually? Do you have technology that
I
helps you
mean,
with that?
the scheduling is the same software that we use for submitting the notes to insurance and where we have the child's file on board. It's all the same software, but yes, the scheduling has to be done manually in that software, wherein that's where the office manager comes into picture. She is scheduling the RBTs with the children. That's where the billing, you can see, that's where it's called central reach and it has everything, and that's where the technicians submit their notes. That's where the BCBA submits the treatment plans, and then we can send it to the insurances for billing and all. It's all in one platform for now. Yes, scheduling is being in that software done manually. You can move it around and you can play with it. It looks like a calendar, and the same calendar is used to convert. Once the technician is done with her schedule, she uses the same calendar to convert her notes of the day. So it's kind of linked to each other, and the
Right.
same thing has to be shown in the billing so that there are no discrepancies. So suppose a technician was with one kid from morning 9 to 12, for example. So that is shown on the schedule. So after her session is done, she goes into that schedule and turns in her notes using that block. And then when the billing goes out, they see the notes and they match it with the timing that she's been scheduled for, and it's all matched. So then it goes out for billing. So that's how it works.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this. If you had a magic wand, right, and there's one thing that you could wave the magic wand and there's one thing that you could change to make things run more efficiently, to just make it better, easier, what would that thing be?
Insurance.
Insurance.
I wish I had a magic wand and I would have to take them totally out of the picture. Or if they're in the picture, make it in, use the magic to make it more easier for them, for us.
And
Because
is that filling out the forms, making sure there's no mistakes on it?
insurance is the biggest game changer here because they are the ones paying us. It's not the parent per se. So every time you do a treatment plan, you have to submit it for their approval. You can't start treatment therapy until they give your approval. So now the commercial and the private insurances usually take 2 weeks, 15 days.
Hmm. Right.
Looking at 2 to 3 months for a child who's walked in through those doors to before they start therapy.
Okay. Yeah, especially a smaller business just getting started. You need revenue to be able to work. You need
Right.
working capital, and if they keep
Exactly.
pushing that off, you
Yes, I mean, I'm still paying the therapists, I'm still paying everybody their salaries, my utilities, and everything, but I'm not getting paid for the child because I just the insurance.
right, right. And I do think that that is definitely something that is doable, and we'd love to schedule a talk about that with our technology person, Ariana. But before I let you go off the podcast, and that's an amazing thing, right? Especially with all the AI agents that are out there now that can be trained on specific data and what it should look like. And, one of the companies that we helped was a HVAC company. And one of the things they have to do when they're adding air conditioning into a house is make sure that there's enough electricity in the panel, right, to be able to plug it in without the lights flickering like a haunted house whenever the air comes on. So we're able to train a language model to take a picture of the panel and put in what air conditioning you want to add, and it can tell you, is there space in there, instead of doing very complicated, long electrical load calculations and that type of thing. So I think the same model would apply to help you in that situation.
Right. I mean, Georgia Medicaid has a manual that specifies how exactly the treatment plan should be there. Of course, they keep updating it every year. They keep, I'm guessing every 6 months or every year, there are some goalposts that they keep changing. So having that and maybe some treatment plans that have been
And
rejected and that have been approved, we can, cross-reference.
whenever those new guidelines come out, the great thing is, instead of having to learn them and memorize them, you upload it into the learning model, and then that's what you tell it, use this is the new guidelines, starts doing stuff by the new guidelines without you technically having to learn memorize everything, and was it this one, was it that one?
Right, right. So the burden from the BCBA, who's already has a lot on her plate, would, reduce by 50 to 60% if she does her job, which is writing the treatment plan and then just sending it through the system. And the system has the latest guidelines by which it can just maybe let us know the little changes or modifications that needs to be done, and then we are good to go and we don't have to think about it, you know?
Right, yeah, we would definitely schedule a conversation with Ariana about getting that done for you. But last thing before I let you go, business owner, CEO, founder, passionate person, helping people, what's your one piece of advice for the world?
I would say pick a business wherein you have the passion to keep going, even though in the first 2 3 years when you don't see profit, what is it that keeps you going? That should be your driving factor to start a business. Because when you're down low, when within your first year or be your first 1.5 year, which is the most crucial, where you're setting up the business, where you're not going to be seeing any profits, it's that passion that drives you to keep going, to keep moving forward, fixing any leaks and then just keep going to it. The passion is the one that will take you to that place. It's very hard in the first 1 year. For me, like I mentioned earlier, that we have very close friends who have children with autism and they have never been able to get into the therapy centers just because of the huge wait lists everywhere. You can walk into any therapy center and you would be surprised if you can find one without any wait list, except the new ones because they're just starting. So unless the new ones, every a year old to 2 year old any establishment would have a wait list, and the child just keeps on the wait list until they age out, and then they have to go into school and their therapy hours reduce, and it's an extra effort from everybody at that point. So for us, it was these children matter a lot to us, and we wanted to give them quality care. We wanted to see them grow. We wanted to see them, be successful. And that was the passion. And so what you say, speed bumps were there, whatever road bumps were there, whatever difficulties were there. So many unexpected. Nobody prepares you for what will come and hit you in a business. But that.
Right. Yes. Yes. I believe I've heard that. If the why is big enough, the how becomes easy.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to come on the podcast today.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your